Kim Kardashian West. She never ceases to
Woo!
surprise us these days. I feel like her LinkedIn profile is getting longer and longer. Her resume is getting longer and longer. Of course, she's an entrepreneur, a makeup mogul, a businesswoman, a mother. She's
Right.
studying for the bar exam, and now she can add, or soon can add, Spotify host and producer. But it's not what people think. Apparently, Kim has signed on for an exclusive deal with Spotify to host a criminal justice podcast that will be launching on the platform and on the app later this year. What do you make of this?
So good. I mean, as you said, the evolution of Kim Kardashian West is something out of this world, but the content of this podcast is really important in general, but specifically right now because everyone's attention is on the criminal justice system and just how things need to be reformed.
Absolutely.
Reportedly, the show is going to be called The Proving Innocence Project, and the first episode is going to focus on the case of Kevin Keith. Now, Kevin is an Ohio man who was jailed for a crime of committing a triple murder in 1994, but there was a lack of evidence. So they're going to dig into this story. I'm sure Kim is also going to talk about, you know, her work with the Innocence Project and the Buried Alive Project, which are two organizations that work to get wrongly convicted people out of prison. So we're going to be learning a lot. And based off of her documentary that came out on Oxygen, The Justice Project, when I tell you I was glued to the screen, it was really good. So, I mean, podcasts, when it comes to true crime, they tend to do really well. So I don't see why this wouldn't do well anyways.
Well, there's certainly a market for it, but it's also a good move on Spotify because those conversations are important, you know what I mean? And it's really important right now, especially right now, in the wake of George Floyd and all the protests and all the Black Lives Matter protests to shine a light on criminal justice reform. And for Kim, obviously, this is a passion project of hers. She has been an advocate for criminal justice reform for a couple of years now. You guys will remember she paid that visit to the White House in 2018. And, you know, she actually lobbied for the release of Alice Marie Johnson, which was granted by President Trump. And so for someone who's as busy as Kim is, you know, and she has talked about having to juggle, you know, studying for the bar exam, also motherhood and all of her other business ventures. But I feel like it's important for her to kind of use her platform. And it's going to be interesting, I think, to hear her on a podcast talk about this stuff because, you know, she's doing a lot of work behind the scenes. And of course, she has done these sit down interviews talking about her work in the criminal justice system. But like for her to maybe like hopefully bring in guests and interview them and actually talk about specific cases, I think will be really interesting to hear, especially from Kim.
Exactly. That's what I'm excited about, hearing from the experts. And also, I mean, there's probably going to be lawyers, attorneys. Brittany Barnett is someone we've had on ET Live before. She is the lawyer, the attorney that is on the ground when it comes to these cases. Kim Kardashian is essentially the face, and yes, she's doing the work as well, but there are people that have been on the ground for years working on behalf of these individuals who are in prison. So to even hear from them and hopefully hear from some people that, you know, they have helped, you know, or that they're helping, because the thing with a podcast is that someone can call in. You can get a call from someone that is in prison, you know, and have them on the podcast. So, I mean, it's definitely a lot of avenues they can take with this.